Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
This episode is brought to you by United Airlines. When you want to make the most of your vacation, book with United. They're an airline that cares about your travels as much as you do. United is transforming the flying experience with Bluetooth connectivity, screens, power at every seat, and bigger overhead bins to help fit everyone's bag. And with their app, you can skip the bag check line, get live updates, and more. Change the way you fly. Book your next trip today at united.com.
Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, FDA approved for over 20 years. So, talk to your specialist to see if Botox Cosmetic is right for you.
For full prescribing information, including boxed warning, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
Remember to ask for Botox Cosmetic by name. To see for yourself and learn more, visit BotoxCosmetic.com. That's BotoxCosmetic.com.
Hi.
Greetings and salutations, my friend.
Greetings and salutation motherfuckitations. What era is that word from?
I don't know.
Like, it sounds like something that would have been in the British are coming, the British are coming.
I mean, I know that when I think of it, I think of Wilbur.
No, that's the pig.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Babar. Babar's the elephant. Wilbur the pig.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I wonder how Wilbur's doing. Wilbur's probably dead by now.
I mean, Wilbur would have to be dead. That book came out in what? I don't even know.
1910.
Charlotte's Web came out in 1952. I don't know how long pigs live, but...
Me neither. All I know, my only fun fact about pigs is they'll eat anything, including bone. That's why they're featured prominently on Criminal Minds.
I just saw, there's 15 to 20 years, so yeah, he's dead.
All right, Wilbur.
But I saw that I think it was a school that, I glanced over this, I didn't read the whole thing, but a school was getting vandalized, and they thought like it was students that were doing the vandalization, but it was pigs. Pigs have been running around tearing stuff up.
Was it at your college? Because
no
pig suey?
No, we have.
How did the pigs get there?
Well, first of all, I don't know. I think it might have been a school like near a farm. That's my guess.
Okay.
My school, it is, yes, it's Woo Pig Suey, but it's a boar, so they're much bigger and tougher than they wouldn't just be running around.
No, They've got class. Mm-hmm. They're very mindful, very demure. They've got decorum.
Tusk is the name.
Tusky? Cute.
Tusk. Just Tusk.
Just Tusk. Singular.
When it dies, like, I don't know which Tusk we're on, but they all just get a number after Tusk. I think we're on like 6 or 7 now.
Oh, the numbers are so unpersonal. It's just another run-of-the-mill boar. That's crazy.
It's like a junior, like the second.
Yeah, but then call them junior. Don't say 2.
I mean, junior has already passed.
I know.
It was like it was Tusk the second, and now like Tusk the third.
Oh, Tusk the third. I thought you were saying Tusk 3, Tusk 4. I was like, it's so clinical.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that makes way more sense. Way more sense. Well, wait. So this is
Fisting Friday. Fisting Friday.
Now, you posted something. You reposted something on your Instagram story.
No,
this isn't the results,
I created
right?
It. Oh, no, this isn't the results.
Yeah. You posted something on your Instagram story about like how crazy of a like it was ominous. Like you posted something and then either Samantha reposted yours or you reposted hers.
Yeah. And
you both said something like that, and I was like, what the hell happened? Because you didn't say any, like, it was just like, you guys will never understand. I'm like, okay, but help me understand. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
I didn't say anything because I wanted to see if I could get something out of it, and I will. So
you
that's
also
why
did post saying, or replied to my story saying, I'll tell you on the podcast.
I'll tell you on the podcast, but I'm not going to give the specifics of the company. So we went to an outdoor movie. I won't specify what movie it is because then you could figure out what company it was. But we went to an outdoor movie, and when you buy the tickets, it doesn't say that you have to pay an additional $23 to park. Everyone arrived in a different car, except for Ty and Samantha, of course, because they were together. But it doesn't say any, like, when it's in, I went back to look, and it's like in small print, not even when you're checking out to buy the ticket for the movie. Does it say, you know, add-on parking? Doesn't say that. And, you know, like, I feel like paying $40 to go to an old movie is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why would I pay $23 in addition to the $24 that I've already paid for a ticket to go see a movie that came out years ago? Doesn't make sense. I could have gone to an actual movie theater for that and got food and still been under the money. And it wasn't like, it was more like we were having something to do, not like we really want to go see this movie. Like, it was something nostalgic that everybody loved. I could understand, but no. So get there, have to pay an additional $23 to park. I get there early, like earlier than everybody else. An hour and like 20 minutes before the movie starts. So I like texted them.
Plenty of time.
Right. I texted them and I was like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and get in line because I'm so hungry. Y'all know I've been burning a lot of calories lately. So I've got to eat like every 2 hours. I got
a protein.
Yeah. And so I get in line for these burgers that I had already looked up on the website. And like, I was excited to have this burger. I get in line. I'm waiting for 40 solid minutes until I get to the front of the line. I get to the front of the line and they say, we think we're out of meat. Keep in mind, this food truck, all they sell is burgers. That's all they sell. So that is the one thing that they should have. And I said, oh, and they were like, we'll be back in 5 minutes. Meanwhile, there's also like 20 people to my left who have already put in orders. And they don't think they have enough to fill those 20 orders. So how are you going to get me plus all these people behind me? I'm waiting. They come back. I can hear them telling the other people, oh, we're out of meat. So I was like, oh, okay. They're not going to come back and tell the people that are still sitting here in line. So I just get out of line. And I guess the word started filtering out because everybody else is getting out of line too. So then I go to another food truck. Meanwhile, the movie is about to start. I can hear them playing the games that they start playing before the movie starts. I go to the other food truck, order immediately. I don't get my food for another 45, probably an hour. The movie has already started. I've missed a chunk of the food, but I've already paid for my food. So it's not like I can just not be there. And you also can't, they don't give you we'll text you when the food's ready or anything. So I've missed the majority of the movie. Get my food, go sit back down. It's cold. How do I wait 45 minutes for a meal?
And then hand it
and
to
then
you
it's cold. Cold steak. How does that make sense? And it was disgusting. It wasn't even flavored well. So I threw it, it was not good. I had to throw it away. Meanwhile, I found out that Billy had gotten bit by a dog and his arm is swelling up. And they're like, and Samantha's like, is it broken? And he's moving around. I was like, it's not. I'm feeling on it and he's moving his arm around. I'm like, it's not broken. He wouldn't be able to move it like that if it was broken. I think it's just swollen. And then Ty also had to go home for a reason. And then, so they also live 45 minutes away. So he had to go home. Samantha also was just having a crappy day because she was cramping and stuff. And so I'm watching the last 30 minutes of a movie that I've never seen before. Great, thanks. Then we go leave, and because it's a one-way street, Ty has to wait until everybody leaves before he can come back in to pick Samantha up. So we're just like waiting in the parking lot while Billy's arm is swollen, waiting for Ty to come back in. She's also in pain, and I'm hungry and angry.
Oh my God.
It was like, why did we leave the house? It was just awful.
No, everything was going wrong.
Everything was wrong. So he finally got in. We all finally left. The next day, Billy ended up going to the urgent care because his arm was still swollen. And they just told him, like, nothing's broken. There's nothing's wrong. It's just that because the dog bit down so hard that it swole, like, the strength of the bite. Because it didn't actually break his skin.
Yeah.
But it was just the strength of the bite just swole his arm, and it would go down just to ice it and stuff. And I was like, I could have told you that. I did tell you that. But it was just a bad night.
Good God.
Yeah.
That is bad. I would, there's ones I would recommend location wise.
Yeah. Never that one ever again. Because also, like, if something pops off, you can't get out.
No, so
I didn't know any of that. Like, I just thought it was going to be, I didn't know it was so far. Because the way they advertise it, they say it's at this one location, but it's not actually at that location.
Well, the issue is that, like, I find in general, like, I look up the location before all of them, and I find in general that anything in that area tends to be one in, one out. Like, it's just it's more secluded in that way, and that to me is a hard pass.
Yep. Yeah. Also, the food trucks started because a lot of them ran out of food.
That's
and
crazy.
were not prepared for something that specifically caters to the name of it caters to that. So they started packing up early too, like before the movie ended, and they had their headlights blinding everybody watching the film that they had to go tell the people that work there had to tell them to turn their headlights off.
What? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's weird.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
This episode is brought to you by Opill, the first over-the-counter daily birth control pill available in the U.S. Opill is FDA approved, full prescription strength, and estrogen-free. Plus, there's no prescription needed. Finally, the days of needing a prescription for birth control are over. Opill is available online and at most major retailers. Take control of your health and reproductive journey with Opill. Birth control in your control. Use code BIRTHCONTROL for 25% off your first month of Opill at Opill.com.
So,
well, I'm sorry to everybody involved. That's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. Very very upsetting. Just a waste of time. Because I also didn't really want to leave home because I was just tired. And then when I found out that Samantha also was in a bad mood, I was like, well,
Why
if
did
we
we
were
even
just
go?
like the thing, I was like, if we were all just like already in a bad mood, maybe we should have just communicated that to each other.
Yeah, like being like, there's the way that this would have to be so above and beyond fantastic to pull us out of the bad mood. Like, it actually has to go beyond well. It like something like extraordinary has to happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes like that where I'm just like, there's actually like not even a way that this could go that will change my. There's not a plausible way that this could go that will change my already bad mood or already like not wanting to get out of the house.
If I would have got my food and if that dog bite didn't happen, I think we all would have been fine. But things just kept because if I got my food, I would have had the food before the movie started. I would have ate. I would have been fine. I would have been like, it would have cured my mood because I was looking forward to that burger the whole time. But yeah, it was just bad. Bad all around.
Oh, well, my condolences.
Thank you. But I had a better Sunday.
Not salutations, just condolences. Yeah. What'd you do Sunday?
So my friend Teresia from college, she was my mentee actually. And she's also Avia's sorority sister, her line sister, as you might call pledge sister. She was in town like for just a real quick trip. She came in, her friend that her and Avia's friend that I don't know was having their 40th birthday party in Palm Springs. And so Teresia literally came at 8:00 in the morning and left that night. And so
Dedication.
I went over, I know. So I went over to Avia's at like I think 9:30, 8:30, 8:30 maybe, 9:30. I don't know, one of those in the morning. And we all just hung out and like for a couple hours till they had to drive to Palm Springs and watch the Chicago Sky game. You know, just caught up with everybody and we had a good time. And then I went to Randy's Donuts and risked it for a cronut, where they call it a crondy. Delicious.
Sounds good.
And I actually didn't get sick from it. So that was surprising. And Sunday looked up, but Sunday was a lot better than Saturday was.
Good. That's stressful though. I'm glad that happened on a Saturday, but at the same time, then I'm always like, well, now this day needs to make up for it. Even though I could also reframe it to being like, it can't be as bad as yesterday.
Yep.
Well, I want you to watch that movie again under different circumstances.
Thank you. I know how it ends. I know what essentially happens because as a good movie should, it kind of, you can figure things out at the end and they explain things and then, you know, things are closing up. So I know what happens, but I've always wanted to see that movie and I don't know why I never saw it.
Yeah, it does seem like something that you would have seen. It's like one of my faves.
I love movies like that, where everything seems like it's separate and then it all comes in at the end.
And it's a great cast. Like a very, very, very good cast. Now I kind of want to watch that tonight, except we are knee deep in our DCOM rewatching era.
I saw some things on Instagram. What are you watching?
We watched Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. We were just like talking about, I was in
that one is so random.
I'm obsessed with that one. I've always, it combines two of my favorite interests, DCOMs and the Food Network, aka Bobby Flay. But I forget what we were like talking about. Oh, he put on, I had loved Fall Guy so much. And so Moms was like, oh, you know what you might like? I forget what, I think no, I think that's like the Gal Gadot one. What is that called? I don't know. Some other Ryan Gosling like Netflix movie, Ana de Armas, is also in it. And Mats was like explaining it. He's like, I think he's like, yeah, it's kind of like, you know, Marvel-y in the sense that like it's like action and comedy. And I was like, oh my God, why haven't you've seen this without me? Like, let's watch it. And we started watching it in 5 minutes. And he goes, well, we don't have to. And I was like, well, it just started. Like,
what is it?
Let me see. It's like a recent one. It was a Netflix. The Gray Man.
The Gray Man.
Uh-huh. And so he's like 5 minutes in, he's like, we don't have to watch it. I was like, okay, it literally just started. Like, and I was like, is it not what you remember? He's like, no, it is. I just like, maybe you won't.
This is a recent movie.
Yeah, he's like, maybe you won't like it as much. And I was like, okay. And I was like, it's fine. Like, we'll keep watching. And we keep watching. And then he pauses again. He goes, we really don't have to watch this. And I was like, okay, is this, like, I was like, no, it's fine. I was like, just like, when does like the funny part happen? And he goes, what do you mean? I was like, you said the movie's like an action comedy. And he was like, yeah, I think it's coming soon. And then we like watch another 10 minutes. And then he goes, I pause it and I go, so did you think that this is funny because Ryan Gosling is in it? Is there any like jokes written in this? He goes, yeah, I don't think it is. I think it's just like,
well, you tried to turn it off.
I know, but I was like, just be direct and tell me like, hey, I'm having second thoughts because like I'm realizing this movie actually isn't funny, because he kept comparing. He's like, like think of like a Guardians of the Galaxy. And I was like, okay, that is, I'm like waiting for there to be like a song that feels like totally out of place, like in a Deadpool kind of way. Like I'm waiting for that and it like doesn't happen. And I was like, I think you're just remembering that he's very charming and therefore it feels a little bit like it's going to be funny, but it's not actually funny. And so we turned that off and I forget what we finished. We like watched something else. And then
there's several people in this film that I would be like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what it was about. And also it's described as epic, slick, electrifying. And I'm like, what? Like, I was so confused. And then Chris Evans came on screen and I was like, oh, it's going to be funny. Still wasn't funny. And I was like, what are we doing here, guys?
Did I see reggae is also in it?
No. So Melissa, he said, so Moms was like, someone's in this that you like love to hate. And I started like listing people and he was like, no. And then he's like, but you don't actually hate this person. You just like have like a really strong, passionate opinion about this person. And then as soon as he came on screen, I went, oh, of course. This is the movie where Mats was like, he's great in it. And I was like, and Mats was like, I think he's a very versatile actor. Like, he's really great in it. I go, let me guess. He plays a serious man in a suit, commanding orders, very little emotion. And Mats was like, yeah. And I was like, that's all he's ever been allowed to do. Like, this man has never been given the opportunity to be like lighthearted and fun. And I'm don't think I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I'm just saying that he has played the same the fact that he's done Bridgerton, this, and Dungeons and Dragons, all very literally different eras, like totally different things. And every time he's playing a serious man in a suit. And I'm just like, sometimes it's suit of armor. Sometimes it is a Regency era style suit. And then sometimes it is quite literally a Hugo Boss suit with a tie. And I go, get this man in some board shorts, some sunglasses, and let him vibe out. Like, everything is just so serious. And I was like, oh God. And also, like, he looks like a fucking kid. And I go, what do you mean he's Ryan Gosling's boss?
Yeah.
Because that movie was not what Mats had envisioned. He was like, let's watch a decom because we can't start a whole other movie.
Can't jump back.
Yeah, and it's like going to be too long. And I was like, amazing. I was hoping you were going to say that. And so we watched, I like, of course, pitch him. And I go, I think you'll really like this one. It's a combination of a sports movie and also Bobby Flay. And Mats was like, sign me up. Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off.
Is that the one with the dog? No.
Like the dog eating the nasty food? Or like there's a dog as a prominent figure?
There's a dog in the movie. Then
they have like a family dog, but like it's not like Air Bud.
Does the dog eat the food though?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
there's
I
a
remember
clip.
from
Yeah. And then we watched Stuck in the Suburbs, and I was like, it's one of the guys from SNL, except they give him like bad highlighted extensions, and he's a pop star who's like trapped with preteens.
What was it again?
Stuck in the Suburbs.
I don't know that one.
And that was Mats' introduction, or that was Mats' in that he was able to connect the fact that, wow, Brenda Song is in more of these movies than anyone else. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, bitch. He's like, she's in The Social Network. And I go, no, I've actually known Brenda Song from day one. She's a Disney Channel darling. And so then that led me to be like, we got to watch Wendy Wu Homecoming Warrior. And I was like, it's about a girl. I was like, as a huge percentage of DCOMs are, you essentially go through puberty and then something happens. And whether that's you become a merman or a mermaid, or you find out about this curse in your family, and how there is you have to break this curse in doing martial arts, and all of these deceased people are coming for you. And then you pretend to have a cousin who's not actually a real cousin who you fall in love with. Gross. And he was like, what? And I was like, well, watch that one. And he was like, this is very good martial arts. And also this budget seems crazy. And then we also watched the one where I had to teach him about my heritage, which was Luck of the Irish. Mm-hmm. And he kept making jokes. And at a certain point, I was like, I need you to pause because you're going to learn about the plight of the Irish in this. And if you can't take this seriously, you studied abroad there. You claim it so often. You need to respect this. And I sold that to him about, only thing I said to him, I was like, it's about my heritage. And then he made the great point. He says for the first 25 minutes of every Disney movie, it's the setup of a horror movie. And very quickly they could make one turn and it's a full-fledged horror movie. But instead, of course, it's like the innocent thing and it's very Disney Channel. But like the way that like, have you seen Luck of the Irish? Mm-hmm. So the way that like he's asking his parents about like their heritage and they're like, oh honey, like no, we're from Cleveland. And Mats is like, who the fuck are these people? Are these not his real parents? Was he kidnapped? I was like, no, these are his parents. He's like, okay, it's very much giving like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and like they're gonna be a clip where the mom's like walking on the ceiling and it's like a demon and like all of these kinds of things. And they're just like being so weird and he's like sneaking around and he's like, I swear to God, his dad's gonna pull out like a gun. And I was like, no, that's not gonna happen in this. It's just, of course, the family is, you know, under attack by a group of evil leprechauns and they're the good leprechauns that have to fight back. And I sold him that one as, it's also a sports movie. But he was like, none of these fucking kids can play basketball. They're all like, this is not believable at all. But he loved that one.
I love the actor in that.
Oh my God, yes.
Because he's in so many DComs too. Smart House.
He's only in, I think, 2 or 3, but he looks...
A Ring of Endless Light.
He looks almost identical. There's three DCom boys who, they all look like that guy.
He's so cute to me. Well, I'm specifically talking about him from Smart House and Luck of the Irish.
No, I was addicted to him in that.
His
and
dancing in Smart House?
Oh, so he was like, that was like, he was my crush.
Yeah.
And
what's he up to?
He's in, where is this? He's doing like horror movies now. But he was also in, where was this? I'm pretty sure. He was in a Christmas movie, Christmas, which is one of the best Christmas movies, like Hallmark ones.
Mm-hmm. He's from Choctaw, Oklahoma, right over the border from me.
Oh, Choctaw! A win for Oklahoma.
That's a casino.
Ooh, fun. But yeah, so we watched that one. And so I think Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off and like Luck of the Irish, he's like loving, but he says Smart House, he can't even, he says Smart House, High School Musical, and Cheetah Girls, he refuses to put them in the same category because he says that like that's like an elite level of Disney Channel.
Agree with that.
And he was like, I can't even put them in the ranking because like that's
Cheetah Girls one, I'll say.
Exactly. He's like, that's just like top 3 automatically, and like that's no fun. So I think Smart House, I don't know if I don't think he put Smart House in that because he says that unlike all the rest of the Disney Channel movies, which don't opt to become a horror movie, he goes, Smart House becomes a actual horror movie and becomes a premonition for technology and like the lives we lead today. And I don't know if he'll ever want to rewatch that one. Like he was like, this is too fucking real.
Also Smart House, like A-list lineup in Smart House.
Oh yeah. And also I'm just like obsessed with Disney Channel dads. Like that is like a specific thing I love. He was talking about how much like in Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, he was like, this movie's like so sexist. Like he's like, I'm half waiting for them. Like they find out he likes to cook and I'm half waiting for them to be like, oh, go get your purse, you fucking girl. And then it essentially happens. And he's like, oh my God. And I was like, it's a conversation on subverting gender roles. You just have to get there. You can't keep pausing it, thinking it's not going to happen. Like they're recognizing it later on.
I don't know how you watch movies at home with Mats. Or any sort of media.
But I do the same thing.
Oh my gosh, y'all are annoying as fuck.
But the thing is we each get annoyed when the other person does it, but we do it all the fucking time when it's our own thing where it's like pause. But my issue is I always do pause. Do you want to hear a fun fact about this movie? And then he goes, how many fun facts do you have for this movie? I go, just one. And then like 5 minutes later, he can like tell I'm like holding it in. He goes, did you remember another fun fact? I'm like, yes. But that is because, as you know, both of us suffer from this affliction of being absolutely addicted to listening to the actor and director's commentary of movies. So I just happen to know a lot of fun facts.
Yeah, I do too, but I save them for the end.
See, I can't.
I know you can't.
It makes me buzz on the inside. I'm like, I have to.
That's why I didn't understand how you like can sit on packages.
Future you faces some big expectations. Work out more, go to bed earlier, and most importantly, make smart money decisions. Thankfully, today you has Bank of America. One place with tools and guidance to help balance tasks from budgeting to saving. So you can just be you with big plans. Do more with a bank that asks, what would you like the power to do? Explore our tips and more at bankofamerica.com/futureyou.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Did you open your wreaths?
My wreaths?
Wreaths.
Yes, they're so lovely. The garlands?
Mm-hmm.
Melissa, do you need garlands? I'm not going to give you mine, but I'll give you a link. They're soft.
I would take a free one, but I just don't. I'm gone most of
No,
December.
I know. If your family's ever in the market for an artificial garland, the way that I go, this is not like the other ones.
I mean, my mom would be, but like, I'm not big on decorations, as you may know. And then she expects me to take all the things down because I'm the one that's there. No.
Well, no wonder why you don't like decorations, because that's the work.
Yeah, but like I also used to like it, but then I just don't anymore.
Okay, Scrooge.
I enjoy Christmas. I love Christmas. I love everything about Christmas except for decorations.
Do you like other people's decorations if they keep them up within an appropriate time window?
If they're in an appropriate time window and I don't have to touch them, love them.
Okay.
If you put them up on the day after Thanksgiving and then keep it up until I'll give you, just for you, because of Mats' birthday, mid-January, then we're cool. If I don't have to touch them, we're cool.
Okay, I'll just block you from my Instagram story after if I'm not within the window.
I already know what you're about, so like blocking won't change what's in my heart, what I already know. With my
but maybe
too.
You'll forget.
Me?
No, it's true. It's a blessing and a curse.
I know.
Oh, the last thing I was going to say was I think I finally learned my lesson after both you and Mats. After both you and Mats had been advising me to be safe and to not do these things.
Outdoor things?
Like, uh-huh.
Oh, God, Megan.
So I had your voice in the back of my head. And then I said, shh. And then I quieted that voice.
No.
And I ignored it.
And this is why you still haven't given me access to your ring.
Then there were Mats' voice in the back of my head. And then I also said, shh. And I quieted it. And then I just went on my own. I picked up two rocks that were a little heavy.
Didn't we already do this?
No, because I got trapped under the that was
wheelbarrow.
I got trapped under the wheelbarrow. And that to me, I was like, that was a fluke. Of course I won't do that again, but doesn't mean I can't do these things again. And I like when I was doing it, I was like, is this too heavy? And I was fine. And then suddenly I was not fine. And it was, I think, mostly my footing that like I was so off
As
balance.
it always is. I don't know why. I think mostly it's just my footing. It always is your footing.
Yeah, and so I just like I said, I looked like I was just tipping over, and then I tried to like catch myself with my feet. It didn't work. I fell to the ground, slammed my hand between these two giant rocks, like heavy ass rocks. Mats was not even home, which I didn't know. I thought he was eating lunch inside. He'd like gone out to like grab lunch. I just like laid on the ground crying for like 5 minutes. And then I was like, okay, I have to get up. But I was so scared to look at my hand. And so I almost passed out. It like hurt. It hurt so fucking bad. I thought I like ripped my whole nail off. And I'm like just
again,
squeezing.
story of your life of ripping the nail off.
I know. I'm just like squeezing the glove on my hand, just like apply pressure. And I get inside and I like laid. I had to take like 5 breaks on the walk because I was like getting so fucking woozy. And also I think I thought it was going to be bleeding. And so I was really afraid of like, wasn't consciously afraid of that, but I think subconsciously my body was really afraid that there was going to be blood. And then I like just like laid on the couch and then I finally like lifted up. No blood. A little bit of blood. Like I scraped my knee and my arm and my wrist and then crushed my finger. And there's a bruise forming under my fingernail. And there's like a bruise kind of here and on the one next to it. Yeah, and there's definitely like a little bit of like a scrape. But that now I've officially learned my lesson.
You better, because I'm saying all 4 of your names in my head right now, scolding you.
I know. And it turns out I just needed another lesson. Like, turns out I'm just not, and like literally the first thing Matt said when I like told him what had happened, because he like came, I didn't want to like call him when he was out because I knew he would have like come rushing back home. But like at that point I'd already seen like I wasn't bleeding, like I was fine. And he was like, is this enough? And is it enough now? Like, have you learned your lesson? I was like, no, you're right. I've fully learned my lesson. And I can attest to that because he obviously started a new job. So he's working out of the house. I've like now gone out and watered and I've gone and done things outside. And I'm not even tempted to do the heavy things or do the things by myself. I'm just like, nope. Cause like I couldn't even grip for like 2 or 3 days with that hand. So it was a painful lesson. You would think after I got stuck under the wheelbarrow, that would have been the lesson that I learned. But I think I needed to learn it where nobody was home, you know?
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everyone, join me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melisa and Mats, for Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong?
Each week, we deliver 4 fun-filled shows.
In Don't Blame Me, we tackle our listeners' dilemmas with hilariously honest advice.
Then we have But Am I Wrong, which is for the listeners that didn't take our advice. Plus, we share our hot takes on current events.
Then tune in to see you next Tuesday for our listener poll results from But Am I Wrong?
And finally, wrap up your week with Fisting Friday, where we catch up and talk all things pop culture.
Listen to Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
So I'm good now.
If you learned it, great.
I think I did. And I'm being positive.
Is that you've quieted our voices in your head. So have you actually learned?
Well, look what happened when I quieted the voices. Nothing good. And so now why would I quiet those voices again? Because I can't
you're hard-headed and stubborn.
But you know what? You know what's even harder? That fucking rock that slammed between my fingers. And that shit hurt so bad. I'm not doing that shit again. Like, it hurt so fucking bad. I kind of think this fingernail might fall off. Look at that bruise.
Megan, how many nails do we have to lose?
Okay. Well, fingernails, this would be a first. And
yeah,
that
fingernails.
Is real
that's how I had to.
Toenails, Melissa, you forget how far away I am from my toenails. So those don't feel nearly as connected to me as my fingers. They're so far away. They're in a whole different zip code. This is my neighborhood. This is my block. As she gestures to her fingers, you can't see.
I'm just rolling my eyes so hard.
Well, the lesson's been learned. I'm sorry it took so long.
Okay.
Believe in me.
Okay. Well, before we close this off, I came upon something this weekend. I needed a little pick-me-up. And it was the Christmas present that we were gifted a few years ago from our listeners, where they made a whole video just sharing love with us.
How'd you find that?
I truly don't know.
That's
I just
crazy.
came across it.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you again. It's been a few years, but thank you for making that.
It's so sweet.
Yeah.
I remember watching it for the first time in Colorado, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very sweet. I love that. I love that. And the thing I'll leave it on is Armie Hammer has to sell his car because he can't afford the upkeep and the gas after it came out that he is an abuser and has cannibal tendencies. And to that I say,
great.
Here.
Karma.
Love it. Walk. Like the fucking bitch that you are.
Working at the
timeshare?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if that was real or if that was a rumor.
I thought he confirmed it. This is where he was
I don't
working.
know. I also don't know. I don't believe anything that comes out of that man's mouth, but at the same time, I also believe, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I don't believe, like, the thing is, like, I wouldn't believe it if somebody else hadn't posted about it, and then he confirmed it.
Yeah. And also, it wasn't giving, like, luxe timeshare. Because I go, why are you in, like, a coffee shop as opposed to a boardroom with little pastries?
Yeah, it's true.
Oh. You know, both those things are predatory. Armie Hammer and timeshare.
And this was also after he was working as a manager for an apartment complex. So that was his second job.
I just think the whole thing is so crazy because this man comes from so much money that he actually doesn't have to have a job, but he's just trying to get people to feel bad for him. I also think his family probably hates him, which I would too. I would too. Okay. Well, we will fist you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Lauro, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth.
Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone, so we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice. in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural Then and Now.
Do you love Disney? Do you love top 10 lists? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. The parks, the movies, the music, the food, the lore. There is nothing we don't cover on our show.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed.
I had Danielle and Megan record some answers to seemingly meaningless questions. I asked Danielle what insect song is typically higher pitched in hotter temperatures and lower pitched in cooler temperatures.
You got this.
No, I didn't.
Don't believe that. About a wish coming true? Well, I didn't either. Of course, I'm just a
cicada. I'm crying. I'm so sorry, Jiminy.
You win that one.
So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.